Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general monthly reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of December. I hope you're well. Using the Crow Tarot for you today. I can't believe I'm doing readings for December. This has been the longest and shortest year of my life so far, I think. Absolutely mental. Right, let's get some cards for you, Aries. Can I have 3 cards for Aries, please? There's the first. In your recent past, the Page of Pentacles. Aries current energy, please. Ooh, got 2 together there. Interesting. We have the World and the Moon. I can get them hold up. There we are. And what is coming towards Aries, please? Oh, 2 more. We've got the 5 of Cups and the Page of Wands. What a very interesting array of cards. We have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. That is the card of Pisces in the Major Arcana. It talks about submission to something. Sometimes, you know, kind of leaning into discomfort. And the idea is that you lean into the discomfort, you turn yourself upside down, you see the world from a different perspective, and you gain wisdom as a result. Interestingly, we've got the 6 of Swords underneath there, and there's a lot of movement in here, and it feels kind of emotional, actually, Aries. Let's just put that there and get the clarifiers out. Yeah, I'm going to just go with the standard deck. Just notice the World is at the bottom of this deck as well. That's interesting. Okay, we'll get some clarifiers and then we'll get on with this. Why is the Page of Pentacles here for Aries, please? The World. Where's the Page of Pentacles here for Aries? We've got the 4 of Pentacles. It's kind of come out sideways. I'm going to leave it like that because I feel like that's a message in and of itself. We've got the World and the Moon, please. Ooh. 5 of Swords. World and the Moon. And the Ace of Swords. Yeah. And why is the 5 of Cups and Page of Wands here, please? Thank you. We have the Hanged Man again. And the 6 of Cups. I want 1 more card for that, I think. 1 more card. I've got 2. I've got the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, there you are, as the Fool, and I think that that's an entirely appropriate card to have at the bottom, not only because it's your reading and you are Aries, but because this is how it feels. Like there's so much movement going on here. There are endings and beginnings all over it too, and it feels as though it may be challenging at points. There's a bit of upheaval here, but we'll get into it. I do think it's broadly positive, though, I have to say that. So I want 1 more deck because actually there's so much going on here. I want to make sure that I do justice to it all. Get those cards out that are not supposed to be in there. I've just done a really shit job of tidying up after myself. Right, put those there. So the very first card that you've got in your recent past is the Page of Pentacles, often known as the student card. For me, it talks about understanding the value of something, like newly appreciating the value of something. Because it's a page and it's the lowest rung of the court hierarchy, it often indicates, you know, a new direction in some way. You've discovered the value of something and you're like, this is a cool thing, I want to make more of these. Now, in a broad sense, it could be money. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like a change in the way that you live your life, right? Change in the way that your life is being set up. It's underpinned by, rather than clarified, I want to say underpinned by the World there and this 4 of Pentacles. Now, if we come to the World, not only is it already out on the table, which is interesting in and of itself, and it does deal specifically with ends of cycles. So we have a card here that speaks of a beginning, underpinned by a card that speaks about the end. But it doesn't feel like this end has quite come in. in your recent past. It feels like it's something that you've been trying to bring about, but for whatever reason you haven't quite managed it yet. If this card was in the upright, I would say that there were things that you needed to release in order to move forwards. If it came out in the reverse, I would say that you have released these things and this is what is enabling this to happen. But it came out sideways, and thank you. You're not quite sure what needs letting go of at this point. This feeling of things being in slight disarray, being up in the air, this upheaval feeling is really, really strong. And it's like, you know that there's an end trying to happen here, but maybe you don't know who it's with or why it's there, or what your part is in it. Do you have to just allow it to end, or do you have to actively do something about it? It's so very close. It has been so very close, but there's been a difficulty in kind of tying up the loose ends. And interestingly, tying up the loose ends is something that I heard before in the meditation. What else came through in the meditation? I saw, you know, if you get a piece of paper and you burn the underside of it with a lighter, right? You get that first it goes black, and then you get that ring that just expands, where it's all red around the side, you know, where it's burning, and it just goes like that. I saw that, and I actually felt quite suffocated. I had to kind of sort my breathing out because it felt like everything had kind of locked up a little bit. Trying very hard to start something anew, but not quite knowing how to tie up the loose ends with the old. Now, let me just see if there's any more messages for that from the John Bauer. Is there anything to add to that? John Bauer. Star. The Star and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah. Perhaps things have been a little hard. In fact, we've got a card on the bottom of the deck, and it's the Three of Cups in reverse. When it's in the right, when it's the right way up, it talks to me about emotional support networks. Like, this could be you walking away from something that had been an emotional support network at some point. But despite not quite knowing how to bring about the end here, you've maintained hope that it's all going to just kind of, I don't know, like you'll just know when it's time. Yeah. In your current energy, and this is really, really interesting, we have these two major arcana cards. We've got the World again. I should just add, actually, that the World depicts the 4 fixed signs. So you've got Aries, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio on there. We've got an Aquarius energy down here too, and the World card again. It could be that you're dealing with one of these signs, but it feels like the more fundamental message is that about bringing around the end of something, the completion of a cycle in some way or another. It's paired up with this card of Cancer, which is the Moon, and this is the things that are hidden. Now, that can sometimes be your own subconscious, your non-conscious, you know, the shadow sometimes, or it can be things that are being deliberately kept from you. It's not entirely clear right this second which way around it is, but I feel like we might get there somewhere in a second. Now, this Five of Swords is important. I've just picked this deck up off the table and accidentally left one behind, and it's the Five of Swords, which is the very first card that is clarified here. So this needs a bit of investigation. Let's put it back in here. The 5 energy is about disruption, right? If the 4 is foundation, then the 5 is when shit gets blown up. Not for the sake of it, but to allow you to refine and rehone and make things better. Rehone? That's not even a word, right? Hone. Because it's swords, it's about communication, whether that is internally or externally expressed. So internal expression of communication would be your thoughts. It's the way that you think about things. External expression would be how you speak to other people and how, you know, they in turn speak to you. This, at this juncture, this could be that there are certain thought patterns that you have that you don't know that you have, that are actually sabotaging this end that you are trying quite earnestly to bring around here. Or it could be discovering deception from somebody else. You know, my go-to explanation for the Five of Swords, if I really truly have one, is it's kind of like warped thought patterns. You know, it's where they're not entirely straight, like somewhere they've got a wiggle in them, and generally that wiggle's come about from some sort of shadow influence there. You've been thinking about something the wrong way, and you know, bear in mind that we've had the Hanged Man come up twice. This is about then straightening up those lines of thinking, and anything that is causing it to deviate from its true path of, you know, very clear understanding is something that you can then kind of put to one side. But it can also indicate arguments, you know, verbal conflict of any description. But there's quite, I can see it being either. This is the thing. And if it is someone else, it feels quite devious. It feels quite unpleasant energy. But if it's yours, it doesn't have the same quality. It just feels like a sabotaging energy. Let's pull some cards and see if we can get any more clarification on it. The thing that I like, though, is that we've got this Ace of Swords sitting right next to it. It's like you are exploring what is hidden, and you find the answers. Not only do you find the answers, you have a clear understanding of how to move forward. So either you've understood how you've been sabotaging yourself, or you understand how somebody else has been in some sort of way sabotaging you. Let's get some clarification. Have the Five of Swords, please. Five of Swords. Thank you. It's that Five of Swords again. That doesn't actually help. But it does really drill home the message. Can I have another card to explain the Five of Swords, please? Thank you. Got the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, no, Nine of Cups in reverse. One more for the Five of Swords, please. And the King of Cups. Ah. Well, that could be a process of transition. We've got the Ten of Wands and the Four of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck now. And remember I said that the Four of Wands is about releasing something. Came out sideways for you. It's coming up in the upright this way. And it is releasing burden. Right? That's what the Ten of Wands means. It's when things are too fucking hard. Just putting all the shit down. You are releasing this. Underneath that, we've got the card of Sagittarius, Temperance card, which talks about bringing healing and balance to something after things have been very hard. Right? If you reduce down 1 and 4, which is the number of the Temperance card, you end up with a 5. And you've got lots of 5s here. There's lots of disruption. There's lots of upheaval. Right? This is about bringing the balance back. And ultimately, that is what you're after. We saw that here with the Two of Pentacles. You want this balance. So, I shall speak in broad terms, and you take it as it applies to you. I mean, ultimately, that's what you have to do with any reading. The two cards that came out to clarify the Five of Swords are the Nine of Cups in reverse and the King of Cups, and that looks like a process to me there. When the Nine of Cups is in the upright, it's about taking ownership of every single aspect of your emotional well-being, right? It's not being codependent. It's being, you know, standing tall in and of yourself, you know, taking responsibility for your own happiness, refusing to take responsibility for others, and knowing exactly what it is that makes you happy, right? This way round, it feels like sabotage. It feels like somebody has been sabotaging it, or you've been sabotaging it, whichever way it applies, with some corrupted thinking, right? But then we've got the King of Cups. Now that could be Scorpio, but it seems more like this is a process from here to here. This realization that things are corrupted, whether it's somebody else or whether it's you, shows you how you've been sabotaging your own happiness. And it's kind of like bursting through the other side and going straight to the King of Cups, because it's like a realization. It's a big emotional epiphany. Like, holy fuck, look what's been going on. And then kind of leveling up as a result. And this feels like this is the point of tension that you've been having trouble trying to work out at this point. So, it seems like you're going to break through. And what about the Ace of Swords, please? Or you are right now in the process of breaking through, rather. Yes, we've got the Knight of Wands. So this is what you are doing right now. Okay. What about the Ace of Swords? Ten of Cups. Yeah. The insight that you've got is absolutely off the chart. We've got the Three of Swords and the Justice card underneath there. It's like you were supposed to see this. This is why the graduation, the end of the cycle, was being held back from you, because you hadn't quite taken all of the lessons on board yet. But I see you going from not really getting it to getting it here, right? Tremendous insight and the leveling up happening immediately. Now, what's coming towards you is these two cards, and actually I'm not that concerned now I've seen them, because the Five of Cups, it's more fucking five energy, it's more upheaval, it's more change, it's more discomfort. But we've got that Page of Wands there as well, that second page. So you had the Page of Pentacles too. The pages are always about undertaking new journeys, new adventures, you know, whether of the mind or actually physically experiencing them, and that's what we see here. I mean, it could be that there's some travel or something up there in your, you know, your future. We can see that sometimes with the Page of Wands. But actually, it looks like to me, you moving away from this, right? That's how it appears to me. We've got underneath here the Hanged Man and the Six of Cups. Now, the Hanged Man, I've already explained what he means, and I'll just remind you if you've forgotten, he is about voluntary submission into an uncomfortable position in order to see the world from a different perspective. That's how you gain wisdom. That's how you gain enlightenment, right? But it came out with this Six of Cups. Progression, absolutely, from here. But this is my card of the past. This deals specifically with the past. And it seems like you're changing your perspective on a past situation. And this seems to be what allows you to shake off that and move forwards with this. It was so odd how the two things that came through really, really clearly in the meditation were that, you know, that starting the spark of a burn, starting to, you know, it starts as a smolder, but then it sort of seems to gain momentum as it devours a piece of paper. That was how it felt, and I thought, oh, that's quite interesting because it's Aries. It makes sense. That's that Ace of Wands kind of like initial spark thing going on there. But the other thing was that kind of suffocation and that really the tightness about the chest. And it feels to me like both are true and both are accurate. It's quite a ride for you over the course of this reading, you know. But there's perspective coming, there's wisdom coming, and there's an entire shift in the way that you see things coming, and it's allowing you to start again. Where you were indecisive before, now you can plan. Two of Swords, please. It feels like the indecision came because you just didn't really know what you were looking at. You didn't know what you were looking for. Yeah, we've got the Hierophant with the Six of Swords there. This may involve a Taurus, but it may also just involve you leaving behind things that were, you know, so well established that you kind of thought that they would go along forever. You know, this Six of Swords here, I love this one. She's leaving behind bloody footprints in the snow, like she's wounded, but she's not fucking staying there. She's off, you know, and she's moving away from things that have, you know, been established or around for a very long time, and that feels like it's you. Tell me about this Two of Wands, please. First card is the Tower. That Two of Wands. Eight of Wands. Two of Wands. And the Empress. Yeah. There's that balance you were looking for. It's the Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, followed by the Ace of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands here is clarified by the Tower, the Eight of Wands, and the Empress. It's from that spark you know. I think things will change very, very swiftly. I think this new start will come in for you very, very swiftly, but it will gain momentum. And we've got another Taurus card here, but one that I prefer actually from the Hierophant generally, because it's about creation of new things, right? It's not about the things that are old and creaky and don't move very fast, which is not an energy that works very well with you. But it's about abundant new things. It's about the spark of creation, gaining momentum after this insight and allowing you to move forwards and embrace that new start that you've been trying to get off the ground for a little while now. This is cool. I really like this for you, Aries. So if this has resonated with you at all, there is a link down there in the description box. It's like the top thing in the description box. If you want to come and see the extended, click that, and I'm going over to Vimeo now to do it. If not, no shade, not a problem. I will see you in about 2 weeks for the mid-December readings, which will probably be the last ones of the year, maybe. We'll see. I might have a surprise for you. All right, take care. See you soon.